Javokhir Sindarov makes his way to the game. It's the 12th round of the FIDE Candidates 2026. He's walking to the venue with his second Mukhidin Madaminov. They are always in pumped up spirits before the game. That's really nice to see. And there you have his opponent, Hikaru Nakamura, entering in. Hikaru has had a pretty lackluster event here at the FIDE Candidates, while Sindarov is just on the verge of qualifying for the World Championship match. As Javokhir enters into the playing hall, we have Hikaru Nakamura versus Sindarov in this game. And this is an important one because with 3 rounds to go, Javokhir has a 2-point lead over the field. If Hikaru were to beat him and if Anish were to win his game, the tournament could still open up. But look at the focus of Sindarov. He's like a man on a mission there. He's a man who wants to get his job done. He wants to go back home as the champion of the candidates, as the challenger to the World Championship match. He writes down his score sheet. Chess players always have to think a bit when it comes to writing down the date or the round number. And Hikaru shakes hands there. Hikaru in his peak shape would definitely be ambitious here, but as the tournament goes for him, I believe he's not particularly ambitious for this game. A draw could suit him well with the black pieces, as he's already said it on numerous occasions that he has no chance of qualifying. He's on 5 points right now out of 11 rounds, -1 score. So it'll be interesting to see what strategy Hikaru adopts for this one, and also Javokhir, because one thing that Javokhir does always very well is he's ambitious. He fights for the full point. But then again, the tournament situation does not demand it from him. So can he adapt to it? The players are now on their chairs, handshake, and we are ready to go. Javokhir Sindarov opens the game with 1d4, and this, dear friends, is the Lotus Chess game of the day. Lotus Chess is a very, very cool app that you can download from the link in the description, where you can improve your openings. You can actually train your middle games and end games as well. And notice that everything has to be made on the board. The moves have to be made, and you can learn by actually repeating the moves, and something that is very novel in the way you train. So the app is free to download for Android and iOS. Get it from the link in the description. Now Hikaru can play d5 or he can play knight f6. These are the main moves in the position. Let's see what he responds back with. He plays pawn to d5. And Javokhir now, will he go for the queen's gambit? Yes, he plays his pawn to c4. And now e6 played, the queen's gambit declined. Knight comes out to f3. And knight to f6 brings his knight out. And Javokhir now, Hikaru now brings his pawn to h6. It's a very interesting move. Javokhir plays g3, bishop e7, and bishop g2. We have castles. So we have a very interesting Catalan position, but with the inclusion of the move h6 and knight c3. How does that make the position different? Pawn takes c4, taken. Knight jumps to e5. Now the pawn on c4 is hanging. Knight comes out to c6. And Javokhir takes on c6 with the bishop. Now this is very interesting because it's very similar to what Fabi did with the white pieces against Javokhir. And I think Javokhir is quite impressed with the way Fabi played. So knight takes c6 and Hikaru plays queen to e8. We have knight takes e7, queen takes on e7, And now the queen goes to a4, attacking the pawn on c4. Hikaru plays pawn to a5, making space for the bishop to come out on the a6 square. Javokhir takes the pawn. And now bishop a6 is very logical. What is the compensation here for black? Ooh, queen c5. You could also play queen c6 if you are trying for the full point. But Sindarov doesn't want the full point here. He's happy with a draw. Takes, you can see him smiling there. He's like, okay, I'm happy with a draw here. Rook d8. Javokhir is such a expressive player. Rook e1. And now knight to d5. Brings his knight here. And knight takes d5. We have rook takes on d5. And bishop comes out to e3. a4 played. So the big compensation with the queens was that the light squares for white were weak. So there could have been a potential attack. But once the queens are traded, the compensation is the opposite colored bishops, which leads to a drawish position. So here essentially it's very difficult for both sides to make progress. King f2. You can see Javokhir takes the first step, which is to shore up his e2 pawn, and now he can actually offer a rook for trade. He goes rook d1. And one of the main reasons why Javokhir was smiling at that moment was because, and this later on, if you do see the post-game press conference, he does reveal that draw is all that he wanted in this game. And he was like, okay, queen c5, draw. Because Hikaru in the past has taken quick draws. He did that against Jan Nepomniachtchi in the 2022 candidates it was, where Nepo was leading by a huge margin and Hikaru was black, and they played this Berlin draw. Here bishop comes back. Now the thing is that the a2 pawn is constantly under pressure here. So if you want to move the rook, you need to move away that, and for that you need to play a3, and then your pawns get locked in. King e1 played, and now I think Javokhir is happy to just maybe give up the a2 pawn, because b3 is impossible here. It's not possible to do it. a3 will just lock the pawns. So he says that, okay, take your pawn, Hikaru. You have enough activity to actually get that pawn. Bishop takes a2. And now e4 played. One cannot offer a draw before 40th move. So generally these top GMs have a way of finding repetitions. Let's see how quickly they do that. Bishop c4. He goes bishop a5. And Hikaru's already saying like bb3 bishop c4 is where I want to do, and Javokhir understands it. He goes bishop c3, bishop c4. This is a top level draw, guys, that you are witnessing. Bishop a5, bishop b3. Bishop c3 back. And it's time to agree to a draw here. Threefold repetition. And Javokhir is like, should I make the move? Should I offer a draw? Should I call the arbiter? So many options. And he calls the arbiter and is like, it's a draw. Threefold repetition and a handshake and a smile. Javokhir is like, okay, that was an easy day at work. Kudos to him. He keeps his 2-point lead in the tournament and is very close to winning it.